Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel The Vibes Inside. I am Mariana and I'm here to do your new moon reading in the sign of Virgo, happening on the 21st of September. This is the same day I'm filming this, and so 21st of September 2025, and this, I feel like it's an interesting one. I get the feeling, personally for me, that this is a bit confusing. I feel like possibly with this new moon, we have the influence of the autumn equinox also. Because I kind of feel a bit shifting, that I shift between different feelings or different messages, right? So I have the feeling that we have this new moon, and it's happening on the 21st, and the equinox is on the 22nd, so tomorrow, right? And this, I feel like these two energies are talking to each other, or we would say a bit like in astrology, it would be the feeling of that they are conjunct. And when something is conjunct in the horoscope, it's like it influences each other. So when you have many planets conjunct in one house, for instance, this can be a bit of a messy feeling, right? It can be very difficult to find your way. It can be difficult to... an example of this, I don't know if this is going to be the same for all, but if you for some reason are able to look up the horoscope of someone near you who, for instance, has a diagnosis of autism, you may find, which I did in my case with my oldest nephew, who is now 26, but he was very early on diagnosed with autism. And I can see it in his horoscope, right? I can see, because he has like five planets in the 5th house conjunct with each other. This is very difficult to handle because all of them are screaming their message. It's like having 5 children around you all the time that screams for different wishes inside you, right? It's like a mess of information, and that is kind of what I feel today. It's like a mess of information, like there's too much, right? It's difficult to hear the real one, or the one I'm supposed to follow, right? The one that the one I'm supposed to, or the one that is right, or the one that is... Virgo is a sign that lives in the world of good and bad, or right and wrong, usually. And I feel like, I'm not quite sure, but I have the feeling of, even though I do that, I live by the rule of right and wrong and good and bad, and I try to stay on one side, you know. Then at the same time, I feel like I can't, or I don't know what good and bad is anymore. I don't know, or good and bad is not that simple, that there's more to it, that there's always... This is something that we figure out when we have studied something for a longer time. So let's say that you hate spiders, right? So spiders are bad, spiders are wrong. spiders are like icky and like they belong to the creature, they belong to a group of creatures that you don't like. But maybe if you study the spider, you're figuring out that the spider is just a creature like anything else. It has its way of living, but that is a spider life. That is how they do, right? It's not necessarily evil. It's not necessarily bad. It just is. It's a life, right? Like the rat. What is the rat supposed to do? If you were born as a rat, you will live like a rat. You will do rat-like things, right? You will build your nest for your children. You will try to get the best possible life you can. You will try to build the best little home. You will try to avoid predators, right? You will try to do that because you are a rat. And you will do rat-like things, eat things that rats eat, and so on. It's not necessarily because it's bad, it just is. That is what a rat does. That is what a spider does. It's not necessarily bad, it's just a way of living or surviving in this world, right? So I don't know if there is some kind, like a feeling of something that I found icky and wrong once is maybe not that. Do you get my point? Like something I rejected, something I hated, something I told myself it was bad, it was terrible, it was the end of the world, it was the worst thing ever, that this is maybe not quite true, right? Like the feeling of having lived by a certain rule set or a certain understanding, but finding out that it's a limited one, or that there's more to a story, or more to a person, or more to a feeling. Let's say you are drawn to someone or drawn to something. You feel a pull, right? That you have to go somewhere. But at the same time, you have the feeling this is like the devil, right? I shouldn't do this. This is terrible. This is bad. It will be bad for me to go here. It will be bad for me to be associated with this, or being influenced by it, or something like that. But at the same time, you feel such a pull in you, right? You feel that you have to explore this, or you have to get to know this, or you want to, but at the same time you fear it. And then if you have studied it, or you have actually talked to these people, or you have allowed yourself to be curious enough to try to want to understand, or to get to know something. And when you get to know it, you no longer know what good and bad is, because what you found out was that this other thing or this other person isn't bad. Like they are not devilish. They're actually more like you, more that you think, or more that you thought. They're like you, but maybe just a little bit different, right? I think that, and there are many ways how this could come across. Again, it could be a creature, a kind of animal. It could be food. It could be religion, right? It could be color. It could, like, if you are a Caucasian, or you are Asian, or you are Latino, or and what this other person stand for, the way they live their life. It could be someone who's it seems like they're very lazy, right? Or they are very independent, unreliable, and they shift and turn and shift, and you can't seem to. They seem untamable, right? They don't want to fit into a box. They are not reliable. You can't trust them, and it just feels evil somehow. But then, if you get to know them, you will find out that they are actually maybe opposite from you, but they are doing the things they do because they have to, right? And you do the things that you do because you have to. Like it's something, you could say it's nourishing, right? You do something that hopefully is nourishing for you. So you create a life around you, hopefully, I guess, I hope for you, that it's nourishing, it's beautiful for you, right? But if you get to know the other one, you would know that what they are doing is exactly the same thing, just with an opposite viewpoint, you could say. So you share a ground feeling, a sense of a core, right? That you don't want to betray, and therefore you create the life that you want based on that. But they are doing the same. Their core is just different than yours, perhaps, right? Do you get my point? And therefore, the feeling of the world is not as white and black or as I thought, right? That feeling, like, and feeling maybe a bit confused about that something isn't necessarily the devil, right? Now I get something like, again, orientation. If you have been very religious and you talk about the beginning, like the beginning of the world from the point of the Bible, right? And then you talk to a physicist or an astronomer or someone in science, and they will tell you, but that like the universe is physics. It's based on physical laws, right? It's like the feeling of having like two different viewpoints that come together, and it's not because they are bad, right? It's easy from an religious viewpoint to dismiss what the physicist is saying, because if I have to go along with them, there is no God. Like there are only physical laws as a God, right? And for a physicist or a scientist to believe in a spiritual God, a creator God, would be giving up all I believe in. Do you get my point? It's that kind of thing, that it's like two worlds are colliding, and when they look at each other, the first imprint would be, this is the devil, right? This is bad. This is terrible. This messes up my world. If I talk to them, it messes with my comfort zone. It messes with where I feel, what I like, what my core aligns with, what I am, where my talent is, perhaps, right? And the same on the other side. But when you get to understand each other, you will know it's just because they are true to their core. This because they are true to their core, to a core feeling, something that nourishes them, something that gives them comfort, or is a safety zone or something like that. And if you have to look outside of it, it becomes more uncomfortable. Okay, that feeling. But at the same time, maybe there's something in physics that can't explain certain elements, right? And maybe there's something in the Bible that can't explain how to walk on water, or why did the grasshoppers come, or like, and this is where physics comes in and says, but that was just that was a natural cause of such and such. And in the spiritual aspect, there could be something that could add, right? It could add to each other, right? It could add to each other instead of just looking at each other with these judgmental eyes, right? We could complement each other, right? Instead of hating everything or about each other. So I have that feeling that there's, and maybe that's why I have this feeling of the equinox. Oh, I'm not quite sure, but I guess that the equinox is maybe a different belief system. It follows a certain belief system that is not the same as astrology, for instance. Right? And when they collide, they could come up with, you could say, different almost religions or different viewpoints, different worldviews. And when they collide, they will, when they meet each other, right? They cross each other on the hallway, you will know or feel that they are different, and that you can't necessarily change them, and they may not be wrong, but they are also not quite right, or do you get my point? That's why collaboration usually gives us a better outcome than if you are doing things alone. Because when you're doing things alone, there is only one viewpoint. When you add something else to it, it becomes an even bigger picture of something. It allows you to see something, to get to know something that is that opens up the world even more. Okay, that feeling that maybe it's time to allow something else to tell you something. Maybe you have gotten to know something, and because you did that, there's this feeling that everything I believed in, it's almost like a bit of an ego shock, right? Like a feeling of being scattered in your core beliefs, you know? And the feeling that there's more to something, that I may have mine, but I'm realizing that there are more that are just as true as mine, just as right as mine. But that makes me not judge, or how can I judge that? If they are just following their core feeling as I am, how can I judge that? But it's like when it's easier perhaps to be in the zone where you are just judging. You're holding things away from you, right? But if I'm intertwining with it, I suddenly have to accept other things. I have to embrace other, or maybe understand, maybe not embrace, but accept other truths or other values as legit, and I can't keep judging them. But that is like, it could scatter a little bit, right? It could scatter the sense of I thought I knew who I was. My beliefs have been shaping my entire life, and there are things that I haven't done because of those beliefs. But now that I see this, I see that they're not necessarily evil people, right? They're not necessarily evil traditions. They're not necessarily, it's just because it's something that is important to them, right? It's nurturing to them. We know that in the world, the species of animal, they eat different food, they live in different areas, high and low, and in the water, and in the mountains, and in the seas, and in the valleys, right? We know that some have fur, some have not, some have feathers. It's not because they are wrong, is it? It's just because it helps them, right? This is necessary for them to be who they are. Right? Like maybe without these things, without this place of living, without this food, without this fur, they will die. So maybe we have to understand that it's not necessarily bad, it's just not maybe what you thought or what you like, right? And I feel like there's this feeling of being like colliding, right? That two ships are colliding and they're looking at each other, right? And maybe feeling that once I was judging you, now I'm just maybe more curious, right? At least I'm open to understand what you are about, who you are and what you are about, and that you have certain needs, you have certain I don't know, as I said, fur or feathers, you have certain you have night vision, right? And I don't, right? But maybe that's necessary because you are a nocturne, right? Or I don't know, but you get my point, right? But that feeling that it's not necessarily bad, and if I had a friend like that, if this was my friend, like it could be helpful, right? Because if I was for some reason in their realm, if I was or found myself in their realm, this friend of mine could tell me, right? They could tell me what kind of, what is the honorful thing to do here, right? If I want to be humble, right? What if I step into this realm, what kind of things would be honorable to do or respectful or something, right? And what can I learn from this place? Even if I'm shocked by some of it, or I fear it, or I find it still gross in some way, I may understand that not all, or there are some who find this normal, right? For them, this is normal. This is not bad. It's not. Most people are fearing death, fearing that this is the last day, or something bad is going to happen to me, and then I'm not here anymore. But this is just because you haven't talked to death. You haven't talked to it. You haven't examined why death is here. What does it serve? How does it work? You haven't talked to it. You don't know what death is about here. You don't know why it's here. You don't know. We just close the door to it. We don't want to look at it. Right? We don't want to accept the fact that it could come. We haven't examined it. We haven't tried to understand it. I have tried to understand it. Still find it strange, but I do get now why it is here. I do get that it's not evil. For some people, I believe, in their life and what they are experiencing, death could be merciful. It could be a relief. For someone who is constantly suffering and hungry and living in very dangerous places, at some point, not knowing when, but if they die, they get out, right? And that feeling could end up being merciful. We can even think that sometimes if you have a family member who has been lying in such pain for a long, long time, or who is paralyzed. Think about it. If this was an eternal life, and they were, because of their state of their body, not able to move, would an eternal life be good or bad? For someone who cannot move, who is totally dependent on everyone else taking care of them like a baby, forever. Like, wouldn't it be better to say goodbye to that life, come back at some time, and have a newer, you could say, new body experience? I'm just saying that sometimes the things that we fear the most or we find the most gross, and it's simply because we don't know. Like we choose not to know, or we just run from it, right? We run from it. Anyway, you get my point, right? I have that feeling like 2 or more orientations are kind of, I feel like they're meeting up, right? And they share their views, and it would be easy to just judge them and turn your head and not want to listen. But at the same time, if you did listen, you would understand that they're not doing anything else, but they do the same thing as you do. It's just from their viewpoint. It's not necessarily that bad. It just makes it a slight more difficult to find a common ground, perhaps, right? This is maybe where we say we just have to agree not to disagree, or something like that. The point is, though, I feel like that a bit of an eye-opener, or a bit of an ego death, right? That something I have believed in for so long, I have been honoring it, I have been working towards it. This has been something I was totally invested in and devoted to, and I have been doing so and never looking in another direction, right? Never looking in a different direction, never allowed it to have an influence. Never ever have I done that. I have stayed true to this and only this and nothing else. And now it's like there is an influence, I feel like, and when you talk to this person or had this exchange of information, saw something, you're realizing, yeah, but they're not different than me, right? They're doing the same thing. They may judge me, right? I consider myself good, but they're judging me like I judge them or similar, right? There will always be yin and yang here, right? There will always be a sense of opposition. Not necessarily because it's bad, it just comes from, it has different roots. It's not evil. It's not it's just different. It's easier to find a sense of peace around things like that when you have accepted that that is what it is. Like, even the most horrific thing we could imagine, there is a core to that. There is a core, and from that core something operates. Most people don't like rotten things, right? That when something is rottening, it smells and there's fungus on it and we don't like it. It's decaying, right? That is a living organism that takes care of decaying. So this is a kind of life. It lives off this kind of thing like vultures. They eat the leftovers from the lions, right, and so on. But we cannot hate it, can we? Because if there were no such fungi or no such enzymes, we would have rotten corpses everywhere. So I'm just saying that if we take the time to examine something, we are realizing it's doing a job, it has a life, it's doing something. And what it's doing is not necessarily bad. It just is. It's important, I think, even also for us as a human species to understand that this earth life is not created only for us, right? Like I have this feeling that we have this sense of entitlement that this is for us in some way and only us, and the things we don't like we can just kill. And yeah, we can do that, and then eventually there will be little ecosystem left and so on. But that's another story, right? I'm just saying that if you're studying decay, if you study the enzymes and the fungi that starts working with the dead, decaying corpse or plant or wood or whatever it is, you will find that they are very active for a certain amount of time until they have absorbed the things that they can take with them into the ground, and they have transformed the decaying element into soil or something else. And that is not bad for us. It's actually helping us. So anyway, you get my point. I don't have to say anymore. It just keeps coming in, right, here. I keep getting examples of something. I also get it's like we take things too personal. Like, life on this earth is not meant to be personal. Like, it becomes very painful if you take it personal. I don't like that. Is the feeling I get from plant life. That it's like it's not meant to have such reflection. It's not meant to have the ability to reflect like we do. Life on Earth, I think many people, human people, have wondered about the meaning of life here. There is none. That's my belief from the Earth perspective. There is none. It's only about reproduction. It's about keeping life, keeping life forms going, you could say. That's the only thing. There is nothing else. And for us as a reflective species with a big brain, we can't cope with that. That doesn't make sense to us, and that's exactly what this world is about. It's like getting into a world, being born into this world, and then there's no purpose to it or something. So we have built one, right? We have built societies and cities and civilization because we can't deal with the fact that there is no purpose besides procreation. There is none. What do animals do? They just live, procreate, die, kind of, right? That's kind of the cycle. But we can't deal with that, so we've built our cities and so on, and then we have created sense of purpose in there for us, serving the human species only. I'm just saying, if you come across something that is not from the human species, or it lives outside of the cities, it's a wild child, or I don't know if they still exist, but like a Tarzan child that has been growing up with monkeys or wolves or something. If you find such a child, it's not that that their life is meaningless. It just is. It is what it is. Okay, let's have a look at the cards here. So I get 3 of fire. 3 of fire reversed. Okay, 3 of fire, 3 of wands would normally be a card of waiting for your ships to come in, waiting for some kind of harvest opportunity. Maybe you have planted certain seeds and you're waiting for it to come in. You're waiting for something to complete itself, or something to come back, or something to arrive, or something like that. But this suggests not doing that anymore. I'm not waiting for my promotion. I'm not waiting for this guy or girl to come back. I'm not waiting for to travel next year. No, I go now, right? I'm not postponing, you could also say I'm not postponing certain adventure, perhaps. Fire is usually something that can be fun or alluring or sexy or sensual or joyful, something fun or exciting, right? I'm not waiting for excitement to come in, right? Excitement does not come in by itself. You may need to go somewhere to find something that is exciting, right? You're not waiting for it to come into your life. You're I get a feeling of taking matters into your own hand, not waiting for something. Not waiting for, like things to settle. It could be, like an example could be something like when I get this perfect job, then I can do something, right? Then I can buy this house. Then I can, when I have had this cosmetic surgery and I look great, then I can have the perfect boyfriend. Then I can, mingle amongst the rich and famous. Then I can look perfect. Then I can have a model career or something. When I have my breakthrough as a writer or an artist or then I can be in the best movies. Then I can be best well paid. Then I will be famous. This is the feeling of, I don't want to wait to feel, let's say if we talk about fame or rich or something, I don't want to wait or to become something. I don't want to wait for some kind of goal before I can again, this, as I said, this talks about like waiting for ships to come in, meaning that you have planted certain seeds. You have sent out a certain message. You are tired of waiting for something not to come, right? You may have, I don't know, let's say you have been pursuing or courting someone, right? You're courting someone, or you have flirted and texted and they just, they respond, but they don't seem that interested, or they are not prepared to make some kind of arrangement or date, or they're not saying yes to something, right? And then it feels like you are deciding, I don't want to wait. Like I don't want to wait for them to come in. I don't want to wait for them to respond or to make the deal. I'm letting this go. Or I decide to maybe pursue someone who's more like me, right? Because if they are like me, they will make the date. They will show up. They will commit. They will be there, right? So if I want to be this famous actor, and I'm waiting for this gorgeous big role or head role or head like the best job or something like that, maybe you stop doing that. So maybe you take minor roles, but it still makes you feel like the actor you are, or maybe you write smaller articles, but it still makes you feel, or small novels, love novels or something, but it still makes you feel like a writer, right? So instead of waiting for this, let's say, this perfect top-selling novel idea, you just start writing, right? You just start doing something. Maybe you're not sure exactly what, like the perfect adventure would be for you, but you just start doing them. Like you just start doing something. Because this could also talk about this could be someone who is, into long-term planning. So they are waiting for their ships to come in. This could be the feeling of, I have been working all my life and now I am retiring and I'm waiting for the pension to go through. The pension I've worked for all my life, right? Retirement. I have been waiting for that all my life. I have invested in it. I have trusted it. That has been my plan, right? And now it's like you're not doing that anymore, right? You don't want to wait till you are in your 60s, 70s before you can retire, right? Maybe you want to retire now. Maybe you want to go on this journey now. Maybe you want to... you're not waiting. Do you get my point? You're not waiting, or you're not putting in effort into something that is supposed to have a harvest later. And harvest is very much what Virgo is about. The Virgo season of September can be a harvest time. Harvest of apples, harvest of pears, harvest of fruit or corn, or wheat in the field. It is something you take and you store it for later, right? This idea that I am storing something, or I'm expecting something to come because I have invested in it. So I'm expecting it to come. But maybe you are not expecting it to come in. Maybe there's still 10 years or 20 or weeks or years or something before it will come in. And I have that feeling of you don't want to wait for something, or you don't want to trust it. Like you're not sure that plan is right for you anymore. As I said, if you have been devoted to work life, you would believe in that. Like you would believe in the idea of, if I work hard, I invest in this company, I can become partner, right? In a law firm or something. But maybe that dream of yours is not, maybe you want to be the lawyer now, or you want to be partner now, or maybe you start your own firm because of this. Because you want to be senior now, You don't want to wait. You don't want to give 50 years of your work life or 30 years of your work life before something, right? Maybe you want to, instead of being an employee, you want to be your own boss. You don't want to wait. It could be anything, right? From a religious viewpoint, it could be something like, if I keep up all my virtues, if I am a virtuous person all my life, I will go to heaven. But because you have now talked to this scientist who tells you that it's only about gravity, it's natural laws, it's physics, it has nothing to do with God. Now you are maybe second guessing your previous plan. Okay? Do you get my point? That feeling, right? That something has. I have a feeling of confusion, right? Something may have confused you, or it has impacted you in some way, and you got confused out because of it. Because you can no longer stay on only this platform, right? You can no longer only accept this, perhaps. Maybe there is also something else that is also right, but it wasn't before, right? That feeling. So I have here 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords is pain, sleepless nights, depression. The swords represent something in your mind space. This can be guilt and duties and obligation, and this can be like heavy on you, right? She can't sleep because of this. She's it can be sorrows, grief, but also, like failures, like where you didn't succeed, where you weren't good enough, where you were, and you are, when you keep those spinning, like when this is in a spinning mode, it keeps you in a certain place of feeling terrible or bad or not good enough, not beautiful enough, not right enough, not virtuous enough, not perfect enough, not knowledgeable enough, maybe not the right gender, maybe not the right color, maybe not the right appearance, It's just spinning thoughts that keep you in a loop of self-loathing or self-pitying, sorrow, grief. You can't sleep, right? It keeps you up at night. It's like feeling that you are held by something that just crushes you, right? And definitely the feeling of being alone, not knowing how to find your way out, not knowing how to get rid of all these thoughts here. The only good thing about 9 cards is that 9 are indicating that it's almost done. Like it's almost over, right? That it has haunted you for so long, and it has kept you up, and you have been miserable, nightmares here, right? Waking up sweating and fully but there's a white dove here that kind of indicates that it's almost over, right? Or there is a way out, right? There is a way out of this. Maybe that's why you are wondering if you should take action in a different way, or not wanting to, like waiting for some kind of resolution, waiting for the harmony to come in, but it never comes, right? And so now you need to take matters into your own hand and do something else. Change course, perhaps. The sorcerer here. Like this is very interesting, right? Because again, he's looking right over here, right? It's like I get almost the feeling that this guy is the one that has given you nightmares. Like this one, whatever this is, it doesn't have to be a person, right? The sorcerer just represents something I want to use the word dark magic, and I know that when I say that, some people think about something occult, dark, something evil, something someone who can do spells and curses and things like that. It's not necessarily a person, right? It just feels like that. It feels like something that has a grip on you, as I said, and it kind of crushes you, right? But this to me feels like Saturn energy. Something that has a hold on you, right? Or something that is playing with you, or it's That's what it feels like. It feels like it's a play for them, or it's just fun. Like a cat playing with a mouse, right? And the mouse is in such agony, right? Because they can't get away from the cat. The cat is everywhere. It has its eye on the mouse, right? And it's just playing with it for fun, right? And it feels terrible. It feels like it has a hold on you. It feels like you can't escape, that it's giving you all these nightmares here, right? And you are cursed, and this could be it, right? You could feel like you are paying for your sins or something. But if you are virtuous enough, again, she is in this white dress here. If you are virtuous enough and you never raise she has no armor here. She has no weapon. Weapons are only coming towards her, right? And if she stays a virtuous maiden who is not fighting, she is repentant about something perhaps here. She's trying to be virtuous, graceful. She's trying to do the right thing, right? She's trying to be kind. She's trying to be understanding. And all these swords come towards her from someone who is not like that. They are not virtuous. They are not like that. They fight. They are fighters. This is an Amazon warrior, right? They know only about the hardship of the jungle. They don't care about religious virtues and grace, right? What they know is hard work, and there is no, you could say, saint, right? Nobody has helped them. What they know is hard work. What they believe in what they can see in front of them. They don't believe in a God somewhere, right? They believe in the coin. They believe in what they can see, the food in front of them. They believe in like the home they have. They believe in hard work. That's what they believe in. And they are sending all of their stuff towards you. And this one is trying to be beautiful, like graceful, virtuous, kind, empathic, a young girl in a white dress, innocent. She's trying not to be involved in someone's, you would say, belief system. Because this is a belief system, right? This is someone who never had any help. Nobody cared about them. They had to do all on their own. There were no saint. There was no God. God doesn't exist for this one, right? Only his own God, you could say. Some would say this would be like someone who believes in Satan and something like that. Maybe that's why I started out with talking about something like that. And this one believes in God and the mercy of God and the Holy Spirit, and is asking for the help of Jesus and all this. And then there is this feeling that if these two would be not fighting each other, but would actually sit down and he would tell his story, he would tell what he has experienced. He is like a shaman or a sorcerer, a magician, someone who is all about hard, earthy work. He doesn't believe in dreams. He doesn't believe in luck. He believes in hard work, in dedication to what he is investing in. He believes in survival, right? This one is more like if I just stay on my path, like the Holy Spirit will help me. I will be returned to Eden. I can come back, right? And it's like when these two collide, they mess up each other, you would say. Like this one doesn't understand that she is not fighting back, because this is all he knows. He does not understand why she is just sitting there. Everything in his life has to do with fighting. Keeping your eyes on the prize, keeping your eyes on a goal, going towards it by all means, fighting your way through it if you need to, calling in whatever you need to get there, right? This one believes that you go through the world with the grace of God and Jesus alongside you, and only doing good. But she doesn't. She cannot see that she is the way she is. He's like, when he looks at her, he finds her vulnerable, he finds her stupid, right? Why is she not fighting? Why doesn't she have a sword? Like she is, like they are mirrors to each other, right? She sees the monster that she's fearing, and she becomes more and more religious to keep him away, right? And he is looking, he sees someone who is not picking up a sword, who sits down, kneels down and prays to God. And he just sits there and he just looks at her, stands above her with his sword raised, right? Like, what are you doing, right? What is that supposed to help, right? You just sit there and you speak to some kind of God who doesn't exist, he would say, right? So there's a feeling of like a very, I get a religious feeling here, and the feeling that this other is blasphemy, right? This is a pagan, right? Who doesn't believe in like the one true God, right? And over here we have someone, he believes in whatever God he needs, right? It could be a witch, it could be Satan, right? It could be death, it could be the wind, the storm, the lightning, it could be anything. This one, she believes in the grace and the beauty and the love of God, right? They don't understand each other. Like these are opposites in a sense, and it has a feeling, right, that, I don't know if you can see it, but there is a woman in red hoovering over here. Hoovering. Can you see her? Like she's hoovering in those swords. It's like, I feel like this one is asking her to fight. She is not fighting, right? She's not fighting, and he is tired of her non-involvement, right? That she's not reacting, right? That he is looking for a reaction, a fight. He's looking for a way to show himself, to show up. She is not fighting. She's trying to reject the influence of this. What he is doing is, I feel like he is showing her like a shadow side. Like he is trying to show her her shadow side, the other version of her, the one who is not virtuous, the one who is maybe more of a lady of the night, right? Queen, moon queen, or something like that. And she's sitting here, not liking that image, not liking what he's showing her, right? Because this one would fight him, like she would look at him and fight him, right? She would understand him. and she would understand where he comes from. But this one is trying to reject it, right? Rejecting that she could possibly have something like that in her, that she could possibly be like that, be like him, right? But this one is quite powerful. This one, when he comes forward, he doesn't really have to say anything. He doesn't really have to attack her. He acts like a mirror. So what he is doing is that he's mirroring to her the parts of him that is in her. So he is mirroring her shadow side. This feels a bit like, again, like people are crossing each other like that, and they could, in the hallway, and they just have eye contact. And that eye contact is like looking into the mirror and seeing someone else, seeing the shadow version of yourself. So it means that she would be forced to look into a mirror where she sees this one, right? And he would be forced to see into his mirror and see someone like this inside him. Someone who is actually like her inside. Because it's interesting. This one looks to me a bit like, they are dressed in some kind of garment here. And then there's this, a bit like a curly hair or something. It looks a bit like a feather and another feather, right? There's paint, it looks a bit like an Indian to me. Like someone who has been living with the forces of nature and the ancestors and that kind of belief, right? Someone who is more of a pagan, or more of a what is that called? Like a nature religion, right? Nature religion and church religion, right? And when you talk to this person, or if you are witnessing them, you saw their rituals. Now I get this image of, if you've ever seen the film Outlander, the one where Claire is touching this big stone and is yielded through time back 200 years back in time. And suddenly she is living in a totally different time area where there were other understandings and other like she couldn't express herself as freely. She had to be married, right? She couldn't just walk down the street by herself. She wasn't taken literal. She wasn't given any kind of credit. Only her husband was, and so on. Not the way that most modern people and women live today. So there is this feeling of, but what I wanted to say about that film was that she and her husband was witnessing these witches dancing in the before dawn, right when the sun was rising. And this, and it was the feeling, and the narrator even said it in the film, that it's like they have witnessed. She knew that she was not welcome there, right? She knew that she belonged to something else, but she was witnessing, hiding, but witnessing something that was sense of a ritual, right? An ancient nature ritual. But she also knew that she wasn't part of it, that she didn't belong to that group, right? That is that feeling. That she knows that it's like she's witnessed something, but she knows that she doesn't belong there, right? That she doesn't, like she has been an intruder of some kind, and because of that, it's like something is hovering over her here, right? Like a spirit or something hovering over her. And she's trying to redeem herself. She's trying to atone. She's trying to say, I'm sorry, right? But now she's trying to say, I'm sorry, and getting a sense of relief, getting a sense of relief, getting a sense of what is that called? Yeah, saying I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, right? I shouldn't have done that. But it's like this other side won't accept her apology. It won't accept her for looking in. So the curiosity killed the cat in some sense, right? That it's like she has been witnessing something as she shouldn't have. She shouldn't have messed with this. She shouldn't have looked inside. She shouldn't have, as she's trying to atone, she's trying to what is that like? She's trying to be forgiven, right? Like when we go to church and we declare our sins, we can be forgiven, right? But here it's like the things that she can normally do in her own church cannot be done here. It's almost like it requires a sacrifice of some kind. She has to sacrifice something. Yeah, I have a feeling that it's like that this one, the sacrifice is that this one is hovering over her always, keeping her in a state of atonement, a state of I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, right? It's almost like a sentence, like she has been sentenced to be she's a scapegoat, essentially. Like it's like like an eternal sentence of being a scapegoat. That something keeps hovering over her, that stabs her with these. It's like she's in a prison of some kind. Waiting perhaps to be forgiven, waiting again this waiting for the ships to come, waiting if she just says sorry enough, if she just kneels enough, if she just stays small enough, if she is asking for forgiveness enough, if she is kneeling enough, right? Then eventually the ships will come in, and the ships that are supposed to come in is freedom, perhaps. She will be freed, right? But now it feels like she is no longer believing that she can be freed, that this is ever going to stop, that this one sits and is, I have this feeling of like this always looks to me like he's looking and he's sending some kind of vibe, right? Like he's sending this, and it keeps hovering over this one, right? So he can sit in meditation somewhere and just sitting and holding this one over her, right? Metaphysically. And now it feels like someone is not doing that anymore. Like he's not, like he either this one is stopping or this one is saying, no, I don't, no matter what I do, right? That's what a scapegoat feels. No matter what I do, I will never get out of, I will never be accepted. I will never get a forgiveness. I will never get that embrace from this one. I will never be understood. I will never have completion or harmony with this one. So I can't keep doing it. She may have, done everything she could to try to understand this one. Maybe this one exactly understands this one better than themselves. But they're still mad. They're still angry, right? And she is no longer waiting for them to soften. She's no longer waiting for them to accept her apology or her, you could say, her virtuous manner is maybe over, right? She is not waiting to escape. She's not waiting for a release of prison. She's escaping it. She's running out. She's breaking out. She's breaking out of it. She's breaking out of it. She's not waiting for parole. She's not waiting to be released. She's not waiting for his you could say I don't know what she has messed with here, but it seems like she has really pissed him off, this one, right? And he has been keeping some kind of hovering thing over her. Like she has looked through the keyhole, right? And saw something that she shouldn't see. And because of that, he's keeping this over her like a devil, right? Giving her nightmares, and she's trying to just be small and anonymous and not saying anything, and she's keeping her mouth shut. She hasn't snitched or something. And she's keeping herself so small, and she has been hoping that he would eventually forgive her, right? But it's never coming. It feels like not even a life sentence. It feels like an eternal sentence of needing to repent, needing to stay small, needing to be a scapegoat. That's what it feels like. And she has been doing it, like she has been in this position for a long time. Very, very long time, I think. But now it's like she's not doing it anymore. She's, again, this is a bit like the Eight of Swords is like an almost a self-imposed prison, right? It's like you are in some situation and there are all these swords around you and you are tied up, but the rope is loose, so you could get out if you wanted to. So I'm wondering why she has stayed here for so long. 9 is indicating that she is stopping this prison, right? This mental prison. That this is no longer where the dove is here, right? Telling her how she can get out of this. That there is a way out. But she thought that she had to pray and she had to kneel and she had to become this virtuous nun, right? And so on. But this one, the dove here, is telling her that there is another way, right? That there is something, that there is a way out, or there is an understanding about something. And you can get out, right? You can get out, you can raise from the bed and move out of this house, or you can't leave home. You can leave home, you can walk away from them, you can leave them behind. It is possible. But as long as you are engaging with these allegations here, these judgments and so on, it will make you feel small, but there is a way out, right? And she may have thought there were none, that it was never going to be possible to get out, right? But this one is telling her there is a way out, if you trust me, right? There is a way out of this. You have done your sentence, you have, like, you know, like mortal life, even we have that, right? We say that life sentence are for life, yes, but not longer than that, right? Not longer than that. And sometimes you have sentences that say 10 years in prison or 15 years, but when you have done your time, you are supposed to be free. This feels like she can never be free. That's what she felt like, that she couldn't get out, that she would stay here forever, right? No matter what she did. She has tried everything. And it will never be good enough for this one, right? And I feel like eventually she's getting to a point, it's like someone is speaking to her, the little dove here, right? Is saying, but there's a window over here, you can get out, right? You just have to believe, trust that you can get out. This is a bit like, you know, domestic violence, right? That a woman who's married to someone, and in the beginning he was beautiful, and over time he turned into someone who was manipulating her, keeping her locked inside, never letting her out, threatening her and beating her up and so on. And when you are in such a mental prison here with someone, it's very, very difficult to get out of it by yourself, right? It's very, especially if you feel guilty for something, if you feel like it's your fault, that something is your fault, you shouldn't have done that, you shouldn't have sneaked up on someone, you shouldn't have looked through the keyhole, you shouldn't have witnessed something, you shouldn't have done that. Then you feel guilty, and when you feel guilty, you can't get out. So this one is trying to talk to her to make her not feel guilty. And it means that this dove has to present something that she hasn't already thought about. It has to be new. It has to be something she had no idea about. And if this one is bringing enough information, enough new perspectives to the matter, if he is bringing enough of this, it could change her mind. It could make her see things from a different perspective, not making her feel so guilty anymore, not making her feel so small anymore, not making her feel that she is worthless. So this dove is offering something, right? She hasn't climbed out of the window yet, but I feel like she will, because of the Three of Fire reversed. She is no longer waiting for some savior to come and rescue her, or for the Holy Spirit to intervene, or God or something. She is taking things into her own taking matters into her own hand. She is becoming like the mind space that has been everything she knew, everything she was involved with is changing, I feel like. And because it is changing, evolving, or allowing for something else to be there, you can break this sense of curse or something, this sentence you've had, this judgment that has been held over you. You can break it. I want to know who this dove is. Can I have a card on who this dove is? So I get Sekhmet here. Sekhmet. Sekhmet is the Red Lady. I am pure strength. I honor my anger by giving voice to it. Okay. So, because this is interesting, because this one probably has no anger. Or if she has anger, it's very, you could say, weak in her. She has no way of protesting. Her faith, her understanding, her upbringing, everything that governs the brain is what is keeping her in this space, is keeping her manipulated by this. So it's interesting that we have the Red Lady up here, and this is this red person, and here we have the Red Lady. What is happening here is that she has to awaken something in her, something that is maybe pure fire, anger, resentment, bitterness. She has to go through it all to awaken the Red Lady in her, to become like this. So something has been hovering over her, but to fight it, she has to become it herself, to become the equal of this one. So she is awakening her own cat. I said before that it's like a cat playing with a mouse, right? Now she is awakening her own cat. She is trying to embrace, that's what he is saying, right? Embrace that fire in you. Embrace that you are a cat too, right? Embrace that you have cat features as well. You do have this. You can become like this one and defeat them. So you can be equal, right? You can be equal. Here they are not equal, right? Her virtues, her religion, maybe she is dismissing some of it. She has to dismiss some of the religious beliefs. She has to dismiss some of she has to get to know her opponent. What rules do they play by, right? That's why I say, what are you dealing with? If you are dealing with a sorcerer here, you have to get to know them, right? You have to get to know what they are like. What are their playing rules? How do they conduct themselves? Do they have limits? Where are their limits? And if they don't have limits, you have to become someone who do not have limits to get out. And that's what he's saying. This one is presenting the image. He's trying to mirror this to her. This is you, he's saying. You are a red lady as well. You are like her. You just don't know it, right? Because you have never been able to embrace it. You have never been able to awaken it in you. This is a sense of a protector, right? Or a warrior, a fighter that fights, that is her fighter, her warrior, and a warrior in her, right? The shadow aspect. So it's interesting. This one feels like he's bad, right? Because he's made her feel like this. But what if he came into your life because you were supposed to see who you also are? Right? What if he presented himself for you to understand that whatever has been hovering over you here is you? That it is you. That these two are the same, just in shadow aspect. That the red lady here, this cat is like, that this one is like this one, like this one. He's equal, right? He's equal. And because you're not fighting him, he finds you weak. He can dominate you as long as you're weak. I'm not saying you're supposed to fight him, but you're supposed to, I feel like, get to know that you have this in you as well. And you can walk away from him, right? You can just turn around and walk away. You don't have to wait for his approval. You don't have to wait for... But the point is that for a religious person, it feels like awakening this one in you is the devil, right? This is like... it feels like you are the worst person ever. That you are the... You're like him then. Then you become like him. But sometimes you need to, right? Sometimes you need to become as adept to this world as they are. You need to learn to play by their rules. You need to understand that they don't play by the Bible rules. They have other kinds. And when you get to know them, you will see that you have some of this in you as well. Maybe that's why you were drawn to them at some point. And now it's like they hover. They have taken control over your mind. But what if you are like them, right? What if you are like them, that you can be this one's evil or equal? You can be this one's equal, right? That they are one of the same. So if you awaken this one in yourself, you can fight off this one who is sent by him, right? He just mirrored to you who you also are, and you have mirrored to him who he is. So it could be interesting to have a card on that. What was his experience of having your mirror? That you mirrored you to him, right? What is that in him? What is your mirror in him? So I get the Hermit here. Yeah. The Hermit in front of the little snake. When he saw you as a snake. He saw you, even though you are way smaller than him, he saw you as poisonous, right? He saw you as something as a temptress, perhaps, like in the Garden of Eden, if you take the Bible. So when he sees a biblical person, someone who believes in God, he sees them as a snake, right? He sees them as a snake, something that is endangering his world as the sorcerer. Actually makes sense, right? The way he looks, I said the way he dresses with the feathers, and it's more of someone who lives in the forest outside of the city. He doesn't live in the city, this one, right? He's like a forest creature or a mountain creature or something. When he looked at her, when he looked at you, he felt like you were a snake that potentially could bite him, that you could have a toxic bite to him. That makes sense, right? How church and paganism or Hinduism always has been on each other's, you could say, throat, right? That one is toxic to the other. That's what it feels like. This one feels toxic to you, right? You felt toxic to him. You felt he had to defend himself. And the way he did that was sending this one to hover over you, right? To hover over you. He was sending a mirror image of you being the bad one, right? To you. And to get out of that, you need to awaken in you this one. And this one is the same as this one. Slightly different, right? He felt, he got afraid of you. So the one holding some kind of prison grip on you, he was afraid of you. Like you felt like you were a toxin, right? And now I get witch hunt. Like how the church was, hunting down witches and burned them on the stake, right? He belongs, you could say, to the witch pagan tradition, right? When he comes across a religious person, it feels like he saw exactly what I just talked about. When he saw you, you felt like, like one of the church temple riders who was hunting his kind down to kill them. That's why you feel toxic to him, right? You feel like a threat to him. And to keep you away from him, he has sent this one. to make you feel bad here, right? To make you feel bad because you are a threat. To get out of this, you need to awaken the one inside of you who is like him. But when you do that, it's like you are two, right? You become two. You are the one you were before this one, and then you are something else as well. So it's like you have two kinds of you, or does that make sense? You have opened a door to see this one in you, and you cannot close it again, right? It's like when you know, you cannot not know, right? You have seen it now. You have seen also that he is very powerful. And you're realizing that you have some of this in you as well. It's just a shadow side. As well as this is for him. That it seems small, but don't overlook it, right? That even though you seem small, don't overlook it. I get a feeling that you were in his way. Like he can't move forward when you are there. He's just standing there looking at you, right? He needs you to become more like him. He needs you to understand something. The Hermit is very wise. This is Virgo energy as well. We have a Virgo new moon, right? This one feels threatened by the snake. And it's like, he would move forward on this path here. But he can't as long as you are there, right? As long as you are there, he can't move forward. It's like both of you are in a problem. He feels like he can't move forward. Now that he has seen you, he can move forward. He's very powerful. He tries to, he tries with his magic here. He's a magician. The Hermit is a magician. He tries with his magic to make you change or move, right? But it seems like you're not moving, right? You still sit here, and you are not taking armor, right? Not that kind of armor. What you are doing is you are awakening something in you that can eliminate this one, because you're realizing it's the same. This is the same. They are the same, right? It's the same power. They hold the same power. God cannot rescue you here. Actually, you need to call in his God here. Sekhmet, right? This is old Egyptian energy. You cannot beat him with, it's like the police and a criminal gang. You cannot take down crime with your own rules. Sometimes you have to become a criminal yourself to take it down, right? That's why we have undercover cops, because you have to put in a spy into the environment, acting like them to take them down. Do you get my point? It's like you have to become one of them, actually. You have to become one of them. And sometimes when you become one of them, it's like you don't know anymore who you are. You don't even know why you can't remember, right? You can't remember why you were this one, perhaps. And you can't remember why you are this one also, right? You may not even remember, why was I this one? Why was I even like that? And in the meantime, this one has not been able to move. Like, he can't move forward when you are there. He's trying to get you away, right? Get you out of his way. But I almost get a feeling of he got, I wouldn't say paralyzed, but it's like you awaken, you made him remember something that is maybe not even from his time. Maybe it's ancestry, right? He just saw the burning fire, right? He saw how the witches were burned. His tribe, his kind. He sees you as the enemy. He saw you as the enemy. But at the same time, he must wonder, because he's so big, how can this be a problem for me? I can take my wand and just, like tip it over into the abyss. I feel like he's studying this snake too. He hasn't done it. Maybe he prefers to hold you there. It's a sense of revenge, right? That I know your kind has brought me so much pain. Now I'm bigger and I can bring pain to you, right? It feels a bit like revenge to me. And he doesn't get it. He is playing out revenge and you do not retaliate. You just sit here and you take the beating. You're taking the beating. And he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand. And he keeps beating you. He's waiting for you to become his. He's waiting for you to become big again so you can fight. I feel like. He's waiting. You stay small here. He's waiting for you to become bigger. He's waiting for you to get this one out. Maybe you are battling this inside you, right? Maybe you feel like you're battling whether you should open Pandora's box here and let this one come out and show itself, or whether you should. I don't think you can forget it because it's in your mind here. This is Swords energy. It's in your mind. It controls your mind, how you think, how you reason. It controls your thought patterns, all your like the feelings and thoughts of responsibility and duty, and how when you feel success, when you feel failure, when you think you are a good person, when you think you are a bad person. It governs everything here. But there's something, it feels like revenge, but then again the hermit is very wise. Like he is an old, right, and wise, and he knows stuff, like he knows ancient stuff. He could tip this little problem, you could say, this bump in the road, he could tip it right over the edge. Why isn't he doing that? he could easily kill this. Easily. Why? It feels like the cat playing with a mouse. And whether the mouse wants to become a cat, right? Does the mouse wants to become a cat? I almost get a feeling that he wants you to. He wants you to see that you are bigger than this, that you are more than this. Being a religious person is little. Like it's a limited thinking. It's a limited way. It's limited knowledge. He's waiting. He's waiting for you to explode. Like he's waiting for you to become this one. Because then you will be like him, right? You will be like him. You would know more. You would expect. This is, as I said, this is from ancient Egypt. This is a different religion. This is more than, for instance, Christianity, right? Christianity, he feels like, is limited. It's so small. Like there's so much more, right? There are many more religions, many more deities, many more ways of living, many more ways of living your life, right? Many more ways of. If you knew, I get almost the feeling, if you knew what you could be, right? That this is toxic to me, right? But you could be so much more, right? Why don't you expand? Why do you stay like this? Why do you keep staying like this? It's almost like he's asking you to embrace this one. Like Sekhmet was like a big god, right? It's a cat god. Cat features, cat god, right? And that's what I feel like he is. Like he is like this one. They are on the same page. It's way more equal. It's way more. The hermit is like, he doesn't look like it, right? He walks in this kind of clothes, but he is like he's like Merlin. This is like he's a big magician, right? And she is a big cat goddess. They would be on the same wavelength. It almost feels like he wants to activate you in some way. He wants to see a fuller potential in you. He doesn't want you to wait for something. He wants you to see it already, that you are more, way more. Life can be way more than what you are doing to yourself right now. And I feel like whom I'm reading for with this new moon, it's like you see that now. That this new moon in Virgo could indicate a time of maybe some of this, like maybe a realization that the old religions were not bad, right? Other religions are not bad. They can be very powerful actually. As he is, right? This hermit here. He's very powerful. He doesn't look like much, but he knows stuff, right? He knows stuff. It's like, I feel like when I look at him and another hermit lives in the forest or in the mountains or something, he is as old as the mountain, right? He has the wisdom of the mountain. He has the wisdom of the trees. Some trees are 1,000 years old, right? He has the wisdom of ancient Egypt. He has the wisdom of. Why is he not throwing this little snake in the abyss? Why does he just stand there? What is he doing? Why is he just, it feels almost a bit like how we are how we are looking at animals, right? We believe that we are clever, more clever, we know more, we are an expanded version of animals, right? Animals is what we were before. Now we are not animals. This is an evolutionary state. I have evolved from this state. That's what he's saying to the snake. You can evolve from where you are now. You are small, right? You are small. You can evolve. Why are you not evolving? That's what he's saying. And he has sent this to you. He has sent this beam of some kind to you, this message to you, right? Evolve. That's what he's saying. He's asking you to evolve. She has been waiting for some kind of sacrifice, for God to intervene, for being saved of some kind. But I feel like she's no longer waiting. Something is happening on her side here, and something may be happening on his side. Why is he not just throwing the He can't do that, I get now. Because the snake is like him just before. Like before he got to be the hermit. So this is an earlier version of him, right? It's like he's looking at himself and recognizing how limited he was once. And when he expanded, he became this. I feel like he can't let you go. He cannot let you stay that small. He is wanting you to become more like him, I feel like. Why doesn't he use his wand here and just, put the snake in the abyss? Why doesn't he do that? So I get the crow. The crow is because, the reason why he's not doing it is because of the crow. The crow is air element. It's because of some kind of knowledge. He knows something about this. He knows something about you. He knows that you have great power. He knows that, right? He knows that you are more, right? He knows that you are more. He can see it. He doesn't even have to be able to talk to you or anything. He just knows that you are more, much more. The crow is always associated with a sense of witchcraft, right? The crow is an associate of a sorcerer or a witch. That's what he sees. He's looking at you here. He's looking at the snake, knowing that the snake form of you is toxic to him. But then he looks again and he sees that this is not a snake. This is a crow. And the crow is my associate, right? The crow is my friend, right? The crow is my friend. She just doesn't know it. She doesn't know that she is a crow. She thinks that she is a snake, that she belongs to the Bible, and that she is bad for some reason. She's not that. She is a red lady. She belongs to the segment of nature religion. she's a crow, right? I can see that. Become the crow. That's what he's saying. That's what he's sending here. Become the crow. But the crow feels like the devil to her. This is bad. A crow is a witch, is someone who is working with the demons, right? Is working with the witches. Is bad. So becoming a red lady is bad. But he has known a long time ago, he has known for a long time that she is not the snake. She doesn't belong in the Bible. This is limited, this is small. She's way bigger. She's a red lady. So when he is haunting you, when this is haunting, this meeting, this eye contact or something, this stare, his look of some kind, when you feel like that may be haunting you, it's because what he did was that he mirrored to you who you are, and you are afraid of embracing it. And if you do embrace it, it's like you don't know who you are, because both are present. You don't know which one is going to be the biggest, right? Which one is going to be is going to control. Will I lose me if I open this Pandora's box? That feeling. And this person, whoever this one is a Virgo, and they keep sending this message to you, right? And you don't want to hear it. You are afraid of whatever this is. This is the red lady. It's a cat like him. You know, a cat playing with a mouse. Again, the cat can play with the mouse because why? Because it's bigger, right? It's bigger. He is bigger. His awareness, his knowledge, something, his capabilities are bigger than yours. At the moment. At the moment. So when he looks at this snake, first he shied away. He saw that this is bad. He saw the burnings, the witch fires. But then he looked again, and then he saw a crow. And he said, okay, but the crow is my kind of, she belongs to me. That's why he cannot, it's kin. Like this is kin. The crow is kin to him. The snake not. But the crow is. So he cannot throw, it's like abandoning a child or something. He cannot abandon you. Right? He cannot abandon you. You belong to his kin. You are his kin. But for some reason, you have been sitting here. You have been raised in the wrong city or by the wrong kind of parents or the wrong teaching. You don't belong to where you sit here. You are miserable here, right? And he knows why. He knows why. So if she is a crow and he knows that she is a crow, what kind of crow is that? I get appreciation here. he is, yeah, I get a feeling initially he was afraid of you. He drew back, but then he finds a lot of appreciation in you now. He realized you are a crow. He realized what kind of crow. I get almost mother, right? I get a feeling of, I also get something like, the appreciation is about this woman. The woman, it's like she has paved the way for something. At some point, she paved the way for something. Like she did something. She stands in the middle of the forest as well. She's a forest person, right? But she paved the way for something. She was a crow who paved the way from the image that the crow was associated with darkness and evil to that magic can be something else, that magic can be, it's just another way of living life. It's a different, it doesn't have to be evil. I get that feeling, right? That she is kin. Again, I have the feeling of Sekhmet, that she paved the way of something. That Sekhmet paved the way of something, and he is grateful for that. He is in gratitude. He can't put you over. He cannot throw you overboard here. He cannot put you into the abyss. You are kin. But you are not only kin, you are to him. Like to him, you are kin. In the, I want to say, nature religion department, right? You belong there, but you have paved, I get a bridge, like I get a feeling that she, potentially you were in a former life a bridge between one realm and the other, one religion and another. There is an appreciation for something that she knows here, something she has done, something she knows, or something she will do. Again, this is a sorcerer. He can be a seer, right? That potentially you are a crow. You belong to his kind. And when you have been in training, you can be the bridge, right? You can be the one who, you can be someone who comes from the nature realm, but who dresses like in the city, someone who can appreciate both realms. You are a bridge. You become a hybrid, right? It's like it's like this mix of, and maybe that's also what you feel. I feel like he knew, like this one knew from the moment he saw you that you would become a bridge. He saw that, like he saw all of this in a vision. You don't know, like you're not there yet, right? You have no idea. When you sit like this and feel like this, you have no idea. When you embrace this part of yourself, you're realizing that you are stronger, and then you can think outside of a box and embrace a bigger box, right? And when you do that, you immediately become a bridge. You are no longer only this, you are also this, and maybe more, right? I feel like he knew this one. Sorcerer, hermit, Virgo, magician. Who is he to you? Like, who is he to you? Okay, interesting. This is so interesting. So I get 4 of Raphael here. Look at the image. Like he has wings here, right? And he looks a bit like a spirit, and he's watching her, right? She's playing here, playing with some kind of shells and by the beach, by herself. She's not even aware of him, but he's watching her, right? To you, he may have felt like an evil spirit, but he knew from the moment he saw you that you were not like the others. It says here, seek out other possibilities, look for the magic in life, be aware of your own emotions. He knew that you were raised in a certain way to become this girl in the white dress, but he knew that you were more from the moment he saw you. The dragonflies were flying around you here. Can you see them? Dragonflies here. He knew that you were a nature child. He knew you belonged there. He feels like a guardian angel or a something. He feels like an ancestor or some kind. From the moment he saw you were born, he knew. He knew that you would path the way for something. Some kind of bridge. I don't know which realm, right? I don't know this again. Who is he to you? He is this one. He's this one. He could be someone who has passed a I don't know, a guardian angel. It could be a sense of a family member, an ancestor. Again, remember, this religion is all about ancestors. It's all about deities and ancestor knowledge, and so it could be that. And because when you are young, you don't know, like a child doesn't know where they belong. It's only later that when they get older, they are conditioned to be in a specific place. And it feels like a burden here. She's showing herself from time to time, this red lady here. But you can embrace her, right? It feels like it's evil, it feels like it's bad, it feels like it's terrible, it feels like it will ruin your life if you go there. What are you supposed to do with the red lady, right? But she is very powerful, she is a goddess, this one. So maybe it's a feeling that the religion that you have been pursuing or you have been a member of is not the right one, right? That there's more, right? And in this religion, it's like here you feel like a sinner, here you feel like the little mouse, here you can feel like the cat, not the mouse, right? I have a feeling that religions, sometimes it feels like certain religions are made to contain us and keep us small and feel and dictate that there's something wrong with us, or we have to stay within certain strict rules, and if we don't do that, we are bad and evil and everything. But I also believe that there are certain religions that do the opposite. Like they embrace you. They are looking at you as who you are. They are watchful for your talents. And when they show themselves, when some of the talents come out, they are embraced by the community. They are that's how a shaman becomes a shaman, right? Because they show some of the qualifications of a shaman, or they show qualifications of a hunter, they show qualifications of a weaver, or of a herbalist, right? They show some of the qualifications, and it becomes natural to pursue that, and it is applauded, right? But I believe that this is not necessarily the case everywhere, right? Not in all countries, not in all civilizations, or in all communities, not in all political aspects, or in all religions, not in all hierarchies is there such an embrace. And I'm saying that it feels like where you are is holding you down in some way. And potentially you could have a shine, or you could find more embrace in another group, right? In another setting. And when you realize that, you can become that bridge. I get that feeling. She's standing here in a fine robe, holding a flower, in the midst of nature. I get the feeling of it's almost like a nobility, like a civilized noblewoman standing in the midst of nature and being appreciative of everything, right? And telling, I feel like she is a spokeswoman of some kind, a spokeswoman or a spokesman, not gender specific, right? A spokesperson that is trying to bridge or that is trying to make headway for some kind of understanding, right? It feels like she's a meddler, not in the bad sense, but someone who can argue for both sides, someone who understands both sides. Does it make sense? Does something like that? That's what I feel like. And this one has been with you since you were born. Seek out other possibilities, right? Look for the magic in life. Be aware of your own emotions. That's what he is. I feel like he has been with you always. Like he has been looking out for you. It feels like a guardian angel, a helper, some kind of spirit. Maybe you know who this is. It could be a deceased loved one. Again, not gender specific. He looks like a man. The hermit looks like a man. This one looks like a man. It doesn't have to be. It could be. Doesn't have to be. It could be a woman, right? But a spirit. Again, if you look at it this way, it could even be, again, he looks like an angel here. He could be operating in the sense of light. Like he could come from the light, this one. And he's showing you that you are more than just what you have been raised to believe, that you are more than that. And if you embrace something more, other opportunities, you will widen your perspective. And this is needed. Like this one needs to widen their perspective because she has been raised in, I feel like, civilization, in church. She wears clothes. She's not an animal. She wears clothes. But she is little, like she has very big potential. That's what he's seeing here. He's looking at her and thinking, this is poisonous. Looking again, seeing she's not a snake. She has been curled into becoming a snake, but this is not her. She is a crow. A crow can fly high and see from a perspective from the sky, so a metacognitive perspective, right? The crow can operate in darkness also. It's not afraid of the dark, right? Or the daylight, for that matter. And if you become someone who speaks the language of one side and understands them, understands every emotion, every fear, but at the same time you understand other religions, you understand other understandings. I get almost a feeling exactly of what I said in the beginning. That it's like being faced with something we are not comfortable with. Normally we shy away and we are afraid of it. But also that you can learn something from talking to them, embracing what are they doing, becoming humble, becoming like a student, right? And seeing this other as a person, as a teacher, right? That they can teach you something. You can learn something. You can actually you can learn something. And understand something. And when you have understood, you can become a bridge, right? You can become someone who can appreciate more, someone who stands in appreciation. But I feel like this one also does. This one appreciates someone like this because they can stand in their world. She can walk into the forest and love it for what it is, right? She can walk into the church and love it for what it is. It doesn't matter, right? Both have their own agendas, both have their own truth. She is understanding multiple truths, I feel like. And this is what he knew from the beginning. He knew this from the beginning about this one. He knew it from when she was born. He has been looking over her shoulder, being there from time to time, seeing how she was doing. She was raised in a certain environment, I feel like. An environment that seemed safe enough, and the understanding that is here is okay. It is what it is, but it's small, he would say. There's way more than this. This is too small for you, right? That the one who knows more, or who represents another religion or a broader perspective of life, is here. He's sending it to her. He's sending it for her to realize that there's more, that she doesn't have to sit in agony or some kind of guilt feeling or something. She's afraid to open up, but when she does, she will realize that this was not a punishment. This is not a punishment. It's not revenge even. I felt like that for a moment, but it's not like that. This is how things were done in the old ways, in old times. Then you had revenge, right? Then you had, because they didn't want to understand each other. They just hated each other, right? But now I have the feel, again, she feels like a hybrid, right? Her origin is nature religion, but she has been put in a family, in a system. She's been raised in a system, in civilization. She has learned religion. She has learned the language. She's been wearing the clothes. She has walked in the shoes. She has listened to the discussions. She has listened to the fears. But she is not like that. Not only like that. But she's afraid of opening up here. She's afraid of being cursed almost, I feel like. She's afraid of becoming what her family hates, right? She's afraid of being an outsider. She's afraid of being someone who doesn't belong anywhere, who doesn't belong in the city, and someone who doesn't belong in nature. That is her sacrifice, that she walks in between. And there is appreciation for her doing so. And I feel like he knew this from the moment she was born. And someone here feels burdened by perhaps needing to be brave enough to embrace this. And stepping up and becoming someone who walks in between. That is the sacrifice for her. That she is neither or. She is both, she is all, she's in between and not judging, right? She is the bridge between realms. Potentially, right? He has seen this from her birth when she was a child. Again, she sits here at the beach, looking at the shells, being occupied with who lives in here. How do they get in there, and how do they get out? What do they eat? Like from when she was a child, she had this already. She was studying other species. She was studying others. She was looking to find information, to understand them, right? That is her, I feel like strength, right? That she, again, we had the crow, The sorcerer is about strength. She is about strength here, right? It says, I am poor strength. I honor my anger by giving voice to it, right? Anger is fire, is life force energy, is it can be angry, but anger can also be channeled into something else. It can be, especially if you're trying to get out of a prison, or especially if you are trying to embrace something, or wondering if you could embrace something that at the first viewpoint it looks like it's terrible, it's a demon, it's Pandora's box, it's all evil, right? Something like that. But when you do it, you're realizing you are implementing both sides of a story, both sides of something. And when you do so, yeah, you may become someone who is in between. And there's an appreciation, I feel like, for that sacrifice. I get this feeling of like, most people belong either or, right? So either you belong in the forest or you belong in the city. But I have the feeling that this one belongs in both worlds. She has a purpose in both worlds. She is neither nor. She is both. She is neither. She is, and that is a sacrifice to not feel that it's like she doesn't belong, right? She doesn't belong in the city. She doesn't belong in the forest fully. But she can walk in both worlds. It's almost like she can walk in the world of the living and in the world of the dead, right? She can be in the underworld and in the earth world. And she can do so because she's not afraid, because she understands the worlds. I feel like almost like a negotiator, something like that. Peacemaker, someone who can explain another world to someone else who hates it or has a lot of fear towards it. That she can be the voice of something, right? She can give voice to something that is hated by others, not understood by others. She can be someone who works with people's fears. Okay? Okay, this got rather specific. I didn't feel that in the beginning, but then again, I feel like it all goes hand in hand with what I said in the beginning. That because you have learned something, because you have recognized something, because you've studied something or allowed yourself to be curious about something, you cannot stay the same. Right? You cannot only be this. You have somehow grown, or you have understood something. Maybe you have overcome some kind of fear, something that held you back, and now because you don't fear it, you can wait, or you don't have to wait to for something to come and rescue you. Right? You can take action right away. You can do something because you are no longer paralyzed by something. You have the courage now. You have the strength now to to make all of these swords disappear, right? And you can do so by becoming like this hovering red lady. You become her equal, right? And when you become her equal, you have implemented something. Have you seen the film Mummy with Tom Cruise? What happens at the end is that he has to embrace godlike figures, godlike powers to defeat the mummy, right? The mummy who got resurrected, who was very fierce and very powerful and very magical and very evil, it seemed like. To defeat her, he had to become like her, right? To become like her means that he shifts. He is no longer what he was. He's no longer a mortal as he was before. He shifts. And because he shifted, he changed to be able to, you could say, defeat the revived mummy woman. He could defeat her, but he couldn't change back, right? He still was something else. He became something else to defeat her. So he can no longer be the mortal boyfriend of the blonde girl in the movie, right? He became something else in order to fight something or to be powerful enough to defeat this threat that was there. That's what I feel like, that if there is a threat to your life, you need to become as powerful as the threat to maybe defeat it, or similar, right? Similar. So I hope this, does it make sense? I hope this helped in some way. I hope this helped in some way, and again, become aware of that this is a moon energy. Moon usually has to do with fears and threats and something that we haven't embraced yet, or something we fear to embrace, some side of us, shadow aspects. So definitely a thing right now. It's a new moon, so there is an opportunity for new beginnings of something. New beginnings of something that potentially can, where you evolve, or where you grow, or where you move out of fear, or something like that. You realize something, that it hasn't been there to put you down, it has been there to make you grow, and it has been carefully monitored, I feel like, by this one. Like your path forward has been carefully, because I feel like she's very alone. She feels very alone in this. But I think that this has been the plan from the get-go, that she was supposed to figure this out on her own. Like, she can't have someone beside her who is strong. She needs to embrace being strong herself, to break the chains of this feeling and to get out, right? She has to embrace that one. And this is something she has to figure out on herself, on her own, by herself. She can try to play small and be little and run away from something, but it almost like destiny, right? That she can't run away from her destiny. That's what I feel like. She can't run away from her destiny. And this one, he is very powerful. He's by her side along all the way. He has seen this in her a long time ago, since she was a child. Why is he so afraid? It's almost like, I don't know if she has why would someone sit in such torment? She's sitting there because of the beliefs that she has, because of the convictions that she has. What is she fearing that would happen to her if she embraces this? What is the reason why she's not embracing it? Why doesn't she go there? What is she fearing? So I get here leap of faith reversed. A leap of faith requires, and it's the 0 card. It represents it's like the first card, a new beginning, right? Leap of faith requires that you believe in yourself. It requires that you listen to your heart, and it requires that you do what gives you joy. That's when you take a leap of faith. But this is reversed because she doesn't believe in herself. She's not listening to her heart, or she dare not listen to it, and she doesn't know how to do what gives her joy. That is what this religion or this upbringing has taught her. She doesn't know how to take a leap of faith. She doesn't trust leap of faiths, right? She doesn't trust it. She doesn't believe that there can be a new beginning. And this angel or this dove that comes in here working with her, this is this guy, this one. He's putting this up here, but I feel like working on two sides of her, right? He's scaring her, but at the same time, and he sees her fear, so he's realizing he has to scare her, but also make her brave enough to get out, right? To get out, to trust that she can have a leap of faith, that she can believe in herself, that she can listen to her heart, so that she can do what gives her joy, right? So that she can go on this journey, that there's a friend with her who backs her up, that there's guidance from the universe here. He's there all along. He has been there all along. But I get the feeling that she feels like this presence, this angel or this helper has been bad, like it has troubled her to trust in something like this. That's not what religion teaches you. There's only one God, right? There's only one, and you have to pray, and you have to be with. And I'm not saying that religious is wrong, but for this one, it feels wrong, or she doesn't know better at this point in time. But it will end up feeling wrong for her. She is in so much turmoil about it, right? This other version, this it feels bad. It's almost like her shadow side is speaking to her, right? Why don't you love me? Why don't you embrace me? Why do you hate me, right? And it torments her because I'm not bad. This one would say, I'm not bad, right? I'm not bad. Just talk to me, right? Talk to me. And if you don't talk to me, it feels like torment, right? Like she's haunted by something. Red color represents root chakra. Red here, right? Root chakra. And root chakra is, you could say, the root of us. It's our ancestry. This is where we come from. It's our bones, it's our DNA, it's our blood, right? This is where we come from. When the root chakra speaks, it's because it's origin. Like this is, it's, and usually the root chakra can also be where we hold the most trauma, right? Here she's holding a red rose in her hand. She's holding and embracing, knowing, she's aware of her trauma, right? She is holding it like a rose. She sees the trauma as the potential for rose that you can blossom out of it, right? You can blossom, a flower can grow out of the root chakra when you're realizing your trauma in it. What the trauma is, you can rise above it, you can become a novelty of trauma, you can become someone who owns it, right? She holds it here as a flower, not as a demonic power over her. Does that make sense? And when I say this, I'm not, please excuse me, or just, I'm not a religion hater, right? If you feel like your religion is the right thing for you and you shouldn't embrace anything like this, please don't do that, right? Just stay with what makes you happy. This is the reason why this is a problem, is because she feels like this, that something is haunting her, something is tearing her down, something is a problem. It makes her feel bad. It makes her feel terrible, right? Something that has the origin in the root, in her childhood perhaps, makes her feel bad. It's like the root chakra is talking to her, right? That something is wrong, something is off. You have to look at this. And she's afraid to look at it. That's why it's a trauma. When something is a trauma, it's because it's traumatic. It was something that was dangerous, terrible. And that's why most people don't look at it. They don't go there because it's too dangerous. And her position in the family, her position in the world she lives in, with the job she has, the work she holds, the mother she is, or whatever, the friend she is, the daughter she is, the sister she is, or whatever, will be endangered if she is looking at this. This feels literally like a Pandora's box, being afraid of opening it, not taking that leap of faith, not believing that you have what it takes to take this journey, not trusting that you can listen to your heart, that your heart speaks the truth. You cannot just do what gives you joy, right? You will be stabbed for it. You will be an outcast. You will be thrown out of the family or something. That is what she has, a lot of fear here. Sleepless nights, it's very dramatic for her. It's very uncomfortable. And this new moon could bring something like that. Maybe you have felt like this, if you feel like this is for you, maybe you have felt like this most of your life. Maybe you can't really remember that you have ever had easy sleep. Maybe you feel like when the evening comes and you are about to go to bed, that it's always there, like something haunting you. Does that make sense? Like a curse of some kind? I don't think it is. Something is, though, working. I feel like both with your fears and with encouragement. It's like both is there. Like there is a fear in front of you. And then there's encouragement to try to come around it, to try to figure a way around it. That's what I feel like. Again, it doesn't have to be religion, right? It's just this very archetypal almost problem in our world, right? Or has been, that religion meets nature religion, and those two don't go along well, right? One accuses the other of hell, right? So I feel like it could be political views. It could be certain responsibilities that you have to live up to and grow into. And you don't feel like, you don't trust that you can do it. Because again, I feel like there is a sacrifice. Again, her sacrifice is that she will never really belong. At the same time, she can be like a master negotiator, this one. And that is the appreciation from this side, the nature religion, who have been hunted down and who is maybe still in hiding. That some are not proclaiming officially that they are witches. They don't want the attention, they don't want the judgment, right? And so there will be great appreciation from this side if someone like this is stepping up and speaking what they know about both sides, right? I get a bit like, have you seen that that movie Sabrina the Witch? For the first years of her life, what is it? Is it 16 years? Isn't there a saying about it that witches, when they turn 16, they get in the invitation to join the witch church, right? I don't recall the film, but how it was for her. I just know that that's what she's doing. She's standing with one foot in two realms. She is this high school girl who lives with normal teenage high school stuff, and then in the evening she joins the church of the night with her family, right? So she's standing with both feet in, like with one foot in, or her feet in two realms, right? That do not resemble each other. They're not the same. They're not. It's like having an invitation to put one of your feet in another realm. And when you do so, it's a big realm, I feel like. It's very big. Again, he is very big the snake is very small. He sees that she has the potential to be able to hold all of this, to hold all these understandings. She is wide enough in her way of understanding the world. And this feels too shrunken in. Like she feels like a raisin. She could become this beautiful grape, right? Big, juicy grape. She feels like shrunken in. And he has been there all along, I feel like. I get all, it's again, I said Saturn in the beginning, I feel teacher here, like it's a teacher, and therefore he brings forth fear. What does a teacher? A teacher is trying to teach you something. They have an agenda, they have something to show you, they have a potential to open your eyes to something, right? And then support you in it. Support you in accumulating whatever it is you need to learn. That's what a teacher does. Not to leave you in a fearful realm alone. No, he is there. He will guide you. When you open this door, he will guide you along this road. You just have to ask him to intervene, ask him to speak to you, right? You have to allow him to be in your life, and he will guide you in whatever direction that is. And it may take you down a route where you, like him, become a bit of a hermit, because I feel like these two are a bit of the same. She is wide enough in her understanding of the world that she can comprehend his world and the world she came from in one. She can have all of it in one. He may even understand that this one is bigger than him. That potentially she can be bigger than him. Right? That is what I feel like. And he has to help her. Like he must help her because she's the bridge. He has appreciation for her. Now he loves her and appreciates her already, though she hasn't done anything yet. He knows that she will. Like it's like a seer, like he can see something here. He knows something about her that hasn't come into effect yet. Does that make sense? So he's there to bring her forward into this destiny, I feel like. This is a destiny child. This child has a destiny. It has been known since she was born. She doesn't know it, or she has forgotten. She has no clue. She cannot wait to be strong enough to embark on a journey. 3 of fire can usually be something joyous, collaborative and joyous, but she can never expect to be strong enough or fearless enough if she is not embracing her fears. And there's no need to wait. Just do something. Just try it. There is nothing that is coming in to give you a sense of armor or a sense of it. You just have to do something. try something, do something, read about something, study something, join a group just to study it, right? Just to become wiser, to learn something, to be humble for a moment, and then just embrace whatever you hear, whatever they are teaching or whatever they are telling you. Don't be afraid. You are more than this. I feel like you are more than this. And you are not in some kind of eternal sentence. She may have seen something that she shouldn't have seen. That could be correct. And she feels like she is punished for it. And that is exactly what the Bible will teach, right? That if you play with fire, you can get burnt. And that is what she feels like. She feels like she will be burned if she plays with this energy, if she takes this leap of faith. She never takes a risk. Like she would never take a leap of faith just like because her heart feels like it. She doesn't trust that. Yeah, this is what I have. I hope this helped someone out there. Take your time with this. I'm not saying you should do it, but the new moon here is saying that there is a potential. Sometimes when these energies are up, are here, it feels like the veil is a bit thinner. Like it's almost like you can feel the information a bit more, that you can lean a bit more into it. And with the equinox here as well, equinox is very strong energy. You can look up the myth of Persephone, right? Persephone is the bringer of spring and the bringer of autumn, you could say. She has this role due to the fact that she became Hades' wife, and Hades lives in the underworld. And that brings very much, again, me back to this feeling of that this could be Persephone, right? That she can go in all realms, not only the realm of the living, but also the realm of the dead, the underworld. I said that before. It's a sacrifice that she is doing so to please Zeus, that is the god of the living, and Hades, that is the god of the underworld, to keep the peace between them, right? She is traveling between the underworld and the upper world or the living world. So she was married to Hades, and she was actually required to live there always. But because Persephone is said to be the one who makes, alongside with her mother Demeter, who stands for the flowering land, the prosperous living land. She carries the spring forward, Persephone. And alongside with Demeter, they stood or were representative of agriculture, of plant life, of the living blossoming agricultural forest plant life, which for the living life is equal to food, right? And survival. Because she was married to Hades, she returns to the underworld in autumn. And that is a bit of what the equinoxes also talk about, that there is a harvest moon, there is an autumn equinox that is the bringer, it is the storyteller of the shift between the warm life and the dark life, between summer and winter. So the equinox is here also right on top of this new moon in Virgo. And the sacrifice of the Virgo, right? That she is the beautiful bringer of spring in the summer when she returns to her mother Demeter and makes the world blossom. She joins the underworld with Hades, and that this is what said to be why plants are withering and why the cold life comes, why the snow comes, and why the rain and the storms and the cold weather comes, and where there is no blossoming food for us. It's because she goes into the underworld. So it could be the feeling, a bit like Persephone's story, that there is a sacrifice to a life, right? That a sacrifice between the upper world life where the living are, and also almost like a contract with the other side, that you are a bridge between, or you operate in both realms. You are not just in one realm, but you are also in other realms, and you can be the translator, the voice of between the realms, right? So I get that feeling also. This idea of that the equinox is the storyteller of the colder times coming, right? Of course, we know about the seasons. We know it's coming, right? We always know it's coming, but we are not always prepared when it actually is here, right? When it's actually here, we would prefer the summer to stay a little longer, right? But it always comes. And for our faith and hope, she seems to also come out of the underworld again in the Aries season and so on, where spring starts. So this shifting back and forth between up and down or light and dark areas, that seems like this is the challenge, the sacrifice, and the potential of Virgo energy, right? As the beautiful maiden, that there's more to her, right? There's always more to something. There's always a shadow version or another side of someone, and she has some kind of potential here. I'm not saying that she will become a worshipper of Sekhmet. I'm saying that she's learning about it. She's learning about it She could even become partly very connected with Sekhmet and partly very connected with Jesus. You know, but that is not what the religion is dictating, right? I feel like she is neither nor. She is both. She is up and down, she's light and dark, she is in between, she is maybe gray area to a certain extent religion-wise. She has no prejudice, I feel like. She's not judging. She is in a realm where judgment doesn't exist, I feel like. Because it's not serving her, right? To carry judgment. That is not helping her in whatever she is supposed to become here. And if you think about it, it's rare to find a person who is not judgmental, isn't it? It's rare to find someone who can see the beauty in everything. Like literally everything. Or can see good, or can see validation in everything. Everything. That is rare. That is not quite how people normally are. And that is why I say that maybe being in between is a sacrifice, because not many are like her, right? Not many understand what she understands. Not many see the world like this. Not many go in between. Okay, this is what I had. I hope this helped. Take very good care of yourself, everybody out there. Love and light to all of you. Bye-bye.